Hello everyone, my name is PJ and welcome back to my Let's Play of Demon's Souls Part 4. Okay, so I did a lot of farming today. Yes, today, because I did not have time to last night because the capture device's software was acting up. I had to wait until the most recent video was finished uploading before I could restart my computer, and by then I was just too sleepy. So I had to cram it all into my afternoon, so today's video may be late. But I did manage to get a few new items from enemy drops. For starters, I killed the red eye knight a couple more times, and one of those times he dropped this, new moon grass. So I guess late moon isn't the same as new moon. New moon herbs are collections of wilted herbs that do not decompose even after many years. So, really? So they're basically the ashes of these herbs. What the hell? Who would eat that? Also, one of the random soldiers dropped a claymore. Must have been a very rare drop. But yeah, I don't have nearly the strength needed to wield this. A very large straight sword. It is as versatile as the straight sword, but its heaviness essentially requires it to be used with both hands. Its crushing blows rapidly deplete an opponent's stamina, easily breaking their guards. Yeah, so it's got about the same properties as the battle axe and club, those kind of heavier weapons. They can break through people's guards. But yeah, you should only need 15 strength in order to be able to double-hand it and wield it that way, but then you can't have a shield. Although weapons do have damage reduction, they're not as good as shields. Like, the claymore has 60% physical reduction, which is not bad as far as using a weapon as a shield goes, but you probably still want a shield. I also got a soldier's shield from one of them. This is the last new thing I got. A small wooden shield used by soldiers. With strategic points reinforced by metal, its durability is higher than that of an ordinary wooden shield. Yeah, still not as good as my heater shield though. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put all of this stuff away with Stockpile Thomas over here. I also bought a shit ton of arrows. I have over 400 arrows now. But I was reading up on it, and I figure there are easier ways to get rid of those dragons than shooting them with arrows. At least, not right away. Also, I did go ahead and I bought the entire plate set. Yeah, it's really heavy. I'm up to 30 pounds of equipped weight, and since that's over half of the amount of stuff I can have equipped at once, I walk slower, I run slower, and my roll is a piece of shit. There's not even a point in rolling when you've got this much stuff on. You pretty much want to be purely defensive. Don't bother rolling, just take hits. All this defense will reduce it for you. But the biggest problem that people have with the series as a whole is that once people started realizing that you could just roll your way out of all your problems instead of tanking everything, that's what people started doing. And then they started basing games on it. Bloodborne doesn't even have any real armor. It just got a bunch of clothes in it. And there's one shield in the entire game, and its description basically mocks anybody who even thinks of using it. It's sad. Very sad. I mean, Bloodborne's still a good game, but the message that conveys, not a good one. Yeah, but this equipment is way too heavy for me at this point. I'm not going to be able to equip heavier stuff until I've gotten all of my stats higher. Let me just leave all of that with you. Ooh, okay. Back to Boletarian Palace. 4 parts in and we're still on the first level, but that's how long it takes to get through all of this stuff. And you can't rush these kind of games. You gotta be patient. Or else they'll just take you longer. Shit, I forgot. I totally forgot. There was one other thing in the Nexus that I wanted to show off. Ostrava is there now. Since we rescued him from 1-1, we can talk to him here in the Nexus and learn more about him. He's up here on this bridge. See?
At its peak, Boletaria was a grand kingdom. The king, his knights, and his subjects were modest and plain, but also steadfast and compassionate. In the distant southern kingdom, Boletaria was known as paradise on earth. But look at what has become of us now. I refuse to believe that this is what Father wished for our great land.
And who might your father be? Oh, I can stand on your bag.
I refuse to believe.
Okay, so he's not really going to tell us who his father is, but you can probably guess. Okay, so I've been using the straight sword, or the long sword, whichever. I mean, it's a decent enough weapon. Since you swing it left and right like this, you cover a very wide area. So you tend to hit more enemies this way, especially if they've bunched up. And it's got a piercing move that one-shots just about everything, given the right circumstances. And with the piercing attack is especially useful against these big, glowing armored guys. Because once you backstab them, you can do that, and then pretty much finish them off. Assuming they don't manage to get a block in. I'm not having good luck with this right now. It seems like every time I start recording, I suddenly do worse. But yeah, Ostrava, he's still here. And he's still fighting these fuckers. And every time you climb up, you need to jump down here and see to it that he doesn't get killed. It's so annoying. He won't move on until you've defeated the boss of the area. And it sure would be cool if he could, like, show up and help you with the boss, but then that would just improve his chances of dying, wouldn't it? Why does it matter if he dies? He's in soul form. Wouldn't he just go to the Nexus? I don't know. But something I never mentioned. That area where we fought the Red Eye Soul Knight, or whatever you call it. I'm just gonna call it the Red Eye Knight. There's a big door right next to him that leads to the mausoleum, and this asshole has the key. Now, he'll give it to you if you complete his mission and help him survive all of this. Or, if you wanted to, you could kill him. But that would lower your player tendency. And we don't want that just yet. So, for now, it's best to just help him. We'll get the key from him eventually. And down they go. Soldier's Lotus? Huh, okay, got a free one. Okay, here we are back at the bridge where we stopped before. I could be remembering wrong, but I think we're almost done with this first level. Once we cross the bridge, we'll basically be at the end. Okay, now there was another weapon that I wanted to show off, that I haven't done so yet. I don't have much ammo for it, but I might as well show it off. The light crossbow, which for some reason you can use one-handed. There are hand crossbows, but... oh wow, that takes a long time to reload. And you can't guard when you're doing so. Man, that's slow. It's not even all that strong. Probably better off with a melee weapon. Okay, there's the dragon. But if you're not in the middle of the bridge when he arrives, then he leaves. Basically, you just want to lure as many of these soldiers to the end of the bridge as you can. Let the dragon take care of a few of them when the time comes. Okay, right about now should be... yep, there he is. And here it comes! If you stand at the bottom of the bridge, the fire shouldn't hurt you. The bottom of these stairs, that is. But now he won't leave. Technically speaking, you could probably sprint across the bridge as soon as he stops breathing the fire, but goddamn is that risky. I forget just how much damage that fire does. It could potentially one-shot you. Yeah, so if you come over here and just, like, I don't know, wait for him to show back up. I guess because he shows back up real fast. Then you can go back up to the bridge. Yeah, it is possible to just make him go away if you shoot him with like 150 arrows. But then you still gotta worry about that other dragon. I missed what I picked up there. Okay, no time for fun and games. Time to run, time to roll, time to roll, time to roll, time to roll. Okay. Because the dragon isn't too smart. The dragon will only attack one particular section of the bridge. Doesn't even hit these guys. But just to be safe, back up. And now you can pick up stuff. Okay, I think that was just Soldier's Lotus that I picked up before. Okay. Across the bridge. That's pretty much the hardest and most dangerous part of this entire level. Not counting actually killing the Red Eye Knight or the dragons. Because you don't have to do either of those things, ever. And what's this? I do believe these are the controls for the big portcullis. And then an enormous arrow flies out of the gate. Oh boy. We're gonna have to fight whatever shot that thing. Okay, is there something back here? Fulfilling those? Yep, yes there is. Secret item. Turpentine. I think this is just the other side of that wooden door I was trying to hit before. Wow, I have so much turpentine. Like, I have too much turpentine, I think. I shouldn't need even half of it. Oh, hello. Just patrolling, are you? I hate spear guys. I hate spear guys. God damn it. There's a guy with a firebomb in there too. Okay. There. Wow. I forget, are there treasure chests in this game? I don't recall there being any. I don't think there are. But yeah, we're in another one of those big towers. And this is going to take us down to the right side of the portcullis, right at the beginning of the area. Which will open up the last shortcut. And what's this? A new enemy. It's some kind of big slime thing with a shield and a really big spear. But it always has the shield up, so you can't really do much to it when you're in front of it. But once you're behind it, it dies pretty easily. And then it just leaves the shield behind. And its giant spear becomes a normal one. Freaky. Right, out here, balcony with an item, unknown hero's soul. Yeah, there's the big spear down there. That's gonna stay in that spot for the rest of the game. It's a constant reminder. Yeah, but it's not hard. And if you're really having trouble getting behind them, throw a firebomb. because we're gonna be doing a lot of that in just a bit. Ah, God damn it. It might just be slashing damage that they're weak to. Because I seem to recall them taking a lot less damage than that, even from behind. Well, here we are, back at the beginning. And now there's a big fog wall there, just like the one that was in front of Vanguard. You can just barely see through this, but I don't think the boss is visible. I don't see it. Probably won't become visible until we walk through. But yeah, that portcullis will remain permanently open now, so we can go right back up to where the dragons are without having to worry about going that way ever again. Now let's take a look at this. Look at this. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that this is a spear, but it's actually a giant arrow. I know, right? Like, what's the difference? Before I go there... Oh, wait. You guys are still alive? How? Did I actually skip you the first time I came through? Or did something respawn you? Weird. Either way, like I was trying to say just a second ago, I'm not ready to fight the boss just yet. Actually, I might be. I might have picked up enough stuff for it. Let me check my inventory. Well, I got 5 turpentine. I didn't pick up any fire bombs, though. I probably need those. Yeah, so let's just go back. I mean, the boss gate's right there. And I believe this is the only level in the entire game, apart from the really, really short, pitiful ones, where the boss gate is right in front of the archstone like this. Every other time we'll want to refight a boss if we die, we'll pretty much have to go through the entire level over again to do it. Okay, repair all my stuff. I'm probably never going to use crossbows. Not a fan of them. They're more useful in some other games. Also, I did figure out exactly what normal damage is. It's basically just neutral damage. There's nothing in the game that is resistant to or vulnerable to it. So if you're fine with dealing normal damage to things and you're not trying to exploit weaknesses, then normal weapons are for you. And the longsword is especially versatile because its normal attacks do normal damage, and if you need piercing, it's got that too. And it's not even a really slow heavy attack. The longsword's a pretty damn good weapon. Between episodes, I'm probably going to go through all of the shit that I don't need, like the slave shields and whatnot, and just drop them. Speaking of which, does dropping items work the same way in this game as it does in others? I'm gonna try... Oh, I can't drop items here? Maybe I just can't drop something I have equipped. Maybe that's it. Well, fine, let me unequip these. Yeah, now I can. I can drop just one crescent moon herb, and it appears in the floor as like a ghostly little bag. And when you do this, other players, it doesn't matter if they're friendly or hostile, other players can pick this up. So players use this system to give each other gifts, and other players use it to completely break the game. Because, like, they'll have a friend who's, like, at the end of the game and can farm really good weapons and upgrade materials and stuff, and then just visit their world and drop it for them. Now, if you reload, dropped items disappear. If you die, if you leave the area, if you quit the game, they vanish and they're gone forever. That's the only real way to discard items in this game, is to first drop them on the floor and then ignore them. They'll go away on their own eventually. But yeah, I'd say I'm completely prepared for this boss now. Should be good. I mean, every time I die, the boss door is right there, so I don't have to worry about losing these souls. I was talking about something else at the time and I didn't get to acknowledge it, but one of the characters that showed up in these loading screens was Yuria the Witch. And she was wearing the old Raggedy set, hat included. So, I was wondering, if those two corpses that were hanging from the chain, the one with the raggedy robes and the one with the jade hair ornament, really weren't supposed to be just two bald old men and actually were supposed to represent his wife and daughter, really? You couldn't have just used a female model for that? There are female characters in this game, or whatever. But yeah, I was wondering, does that mean that Stockpile Thomas's wife was a witch? I wonder if Thomas knew that. Yep, and as you can see, the enormous arrow is still here. God, look at those spikes. Okay, well, here we go. Well, didn't want to do that. I wanted to heal first. Why did it switch me to the... Oh well. Let's just get in there. And here we go. First real boss. Phalanx. And there's all these guys running around. They're just like the ones from the tower. Now you want to use these towers as cover, these columns, because they got giant arrows just like the one that was shot out the gate. And you don't want to get hit by that. The little guys have spears, or more giant arrows, whichever. Yeah, if you got fire on your weapon, these guys are all weak to fire. You should be able to even get through their shields with it. Yeah, but they're all guarding this big glowing blobby thing in the center, which is the real boss. Now, the term phalanx, I believe it's actually a plural term referring to all of these enemies, and not just the boss itself, because these little guys reappear in Dark Souls, and they're called phalanx. Come on. Okay. I think it's time to start using some fire bombs on these guys. Yeah, look at that. Now I forget what they drop. Did it just drop more turpentine? I missed it. Come on. Stop hitting me with your big ass arrows. Only one of them dropped something, so there we go. Come on, I just want to see what this is. Shard of Hardstone. Ooh. You know, this would be a really good farming method. Just kill all the little guys, farm their items, let the boss kill you, pick up your souls, repeat. But these little guys do appear on their own outside of the boss, so you don't have to worry about missing out. It's just that this is a really good method of farming. I have so many fire bombs. Yeah, once you have enough of these little guys killed, you can just go after the boss. But I think the little guys will all disappear or vanish or something if you kill the boss before them. So you might as well kill all the little guys, get all their drops. And souls too. Each one gives souls. Yeah, but this is not a hard boss. For some reason, a lot of people have trouble with it. Just because they don't come in prepared, or they don't know it's weak to fire. Then I can understand, but even without fire, all you gotta do is get behind them. They introduced the phalanx enemies to you earlier, so that you can learn how to fight them before the boss actually starts. Okay, was dead. I threw my last firebomb at him. And then we'll use some turpentine to finish these guys off. She's trying to run away from me. This thing's a girl, by the way. I'm not gonna explain how I know that. The demon was destroyed. You shall obtain the demon soul and a power that is beyond human imagination. And that's that. That was the first boss. Looks like a lever. Actually, just an unlit torch. Okay. And here is the next archstone, which is only a few steps away from the other one. But whatever. We finally beat the first boss, which means a whole bunch of new stuff is gonna open up to us now. And you'll notice, we're in body form again. Hooray! That's not gonna last, because if we die in body form while we're in any world, that world's tendency will be reduced. And we don't want that. Lead demon's soul. Let's check that out. Soul of the demon phalanx. It radiates a strong power. Oh. These all say the same thing. I was hoping to get some actual information about phalanx. Ah, whatever. Okay, well, first boss beaten. Not counting Vanguard because he's optional.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
Yep, so now begins our long climb up the Nexus. And you'll notice Ostrava is gone. Now that we've beaten World 1-1, we have to go find and rescue him again in 1-2. But we can put that off. As long as you don't beat 1-2 without saving him, you don't have to worry about failing his little quest line. But now we can finally meet and actually speak with the Maiden in Black. Yeah, so just like Stockpile Thomas told us before, her eyes are covered in wax. I'm pretty sure she did that to herself. It's not like a cursed thing, like nobody did that to her. But she's got this long stick with a flame on top of it that she uses to keep all these candles lit. I guess she's just, what would you call it? The keeper of the Nexus, I suppose?
The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
I didn't know you had a braided ponytail. I never noticed that before. It wasn't in any of the reference pictures I found. I think you'd look cuter without it. Yeah, but in a few of the loading screens, we saw this little boy, was kind of like a monk, named the Monumental. That's who was speaking to us in the cutscene right before the tutorial started. And now it's time for us to go meet him. Up these long-ass stairs. Oh no, look how high we are. I hope we don't fall off. Oh no! Instant death. And now that I've killed myself in the Nexus, I don't have to worry about dying in any of the worlds and losing world tendency. Although you notice that the little eyeball in the top right corner did become a little bit darker. The Nexus does have its own world tendency, but it doesn't affect anything. You can make it as black or as white as you want and nothing will happen. So it's perfectly safe for you to kill yourself in the Nexus. Just go right back up and pick up your souls and move on. Of course, eventually, once we've gotten the rewards for getting all of the world tendencies to pure white, we will want to intentionally kill ourselves in body form over and over again in each world to make them all pure black and get the rest of the rewards. It's all a very stupid system, very obscure. How's anyone supposed to figure this shit out? And what's worse is that you can really only do this shit when you're offline, because if you're online, the tendencies of all the players on the server will be like averaged together. So if a lot of people have pure white, then what's this? Wait, I thought I could. Doesn't this lead somewhere? Yeah, but if a lot of people on the same server have pure white, then everybody will have pure white. And there won't be anything you can do about that unless you go into offline mode. But yeah, you see, sitting around here are a whole bunch of dead bodies. All of little boys wearing these weird robes and hats, all sitting in front of snuffed out candles. And there's a lot of these kids. Wait, what's down here? Oh, more. More kid corpses. So very many of them. Ooh, what's this? Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. I think this item... Yeah, let me examine it. I think this is what lets you regain body form without killing a boss. Yeah. An eye stone which has deteriorated more than halfway resurrects the user's body. Can only be used in soul form. Once it's used, it crumbles away and is lost. So it's just a consumable item that gives you body form back. And there's technically a finite number of them in the game. There is a merchant who will sell one to you, but only one. And if you want her to sell you another one, you have to be out of them. So that's pretty much the best way to repeatedly gain body form and kill yourself in it. Now we have one lit candle with the only living person up here. This is the guy.
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons. I am one of the Monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something thou needest to know. Once, we too, a scourge of demons faced. In the distant past, under a benevolent rule, the world was united owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to his slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and half the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what land still remained, we entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. One to the king of a small yet diligent land. One to the king of the burrowers underground. One to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. One to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. One to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed at nodes across the earth. We contained the Old One inside this nexus and banned the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain.
So out of all the people keeping the fabric of reality intact, you're the only one left alive. Great, that's great news for everybody. By the power of the Monumentals, the 4 sealed Archstones have been released. Okay, so he said that the Archstones were scattered across the Earth. So this is all on the same planet? So why are they called worlds then? I don't know, maybe it's just a video game term.
Now it is your turn. You must lull the Old One back to its slumber and seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to accept this mission?
No, you can say no and it won't really do anything. But you should say yes.
Yes, we are fortunate indeed to have you. Now, go forth and destroy every last demon. The Old One, without demons to feed its souls, will a new servant seek and lure you to its bosom.
So basically your goal is to kill every demon in the world so that this Old One will want us to work for it. Because by then we will be the strongest person left. And that's typically what all of these games are about. They're all about becoming the strongest person in the world in order to fulfill some mission. Now, did that door appear open now? Yeah, but you saw that he mentioned the 6 archstones and what kind of people live within each world. That's still not open. I think I have to be in online mode for this to open. I said before that they wouldn't add PvP arenas until Dark Souls 1's DLC, but I think that's where that leads, is a PvP arena that I have never seen. I could be wrong though. I know something is up there. But anyway, now that we've spoken to the Monumental, we can speak to the Maiden in Black again, and she'll let us spend souls to level up finally. And I've got quite a few souls to spend on that.
Brave soul, who fears not death. Prithee, lull the Old One back to its ancient slumber.
I love her accent. Blue eye stone and white eye stone. I think these are for co-op. Eye stones temporarily connect the diffused worlds. Should you lose your physical form, remember the eye stone. The Maiden controls inhuman souls. This power allows her to aid those who slay demons. Yeah, so we'll talk to her in a bit. Let me check out these stones. We just got Blue Eye Stone. Proof you have been accepted by the Monumental as a demon slayer. When you die and enter soul form, use this to end a soul sign. This item can only be used in soul form. A soul sign is sent to other worlds, and you are summoned from those other worlds as a phantom. If you succeed in helping the summoner defeat a demon, you will regain your body. So basically, in online mode, if you wanted to leave a sign that other people can see, kind of like a message, you can leave it at the beginning of a level, or you can leave it right in front of the boss, if you only want to fight the boss, want to speed things up. Then, another person can examine that sign, and as long as you're still there, as long as the sign is still there, because it's only there for as long as you're in the area, and online of course, then they can examine it and choose to summon you. And then you'll appear in their game, not as an invader, but as an ally. And you won't be able to hurt them, but you'll be able to hurt other enemies. And then you can help them kill demons. Although, I could be wrong, I think you have to land the killing blow in order for it to count, but either way, as long as the demon dies, whether or not you help, you get your body form back when you return to your world. And a share of all the souls. I think you can even get item pickups. I forget. I think only the player can pick up items in the original Souls games. Yeah, but every time you help somebody else beat a demon or a black phantom, I think it increases your character tendency. So, that's a pretty fast way to get your character tendency to pure white very early. Except, like I said, people don't really play this game in body form all that much. Because only people who are in body form can see your sign. That's a big problem. It means that you'll almost never get summoned. You know how many times I've gotten summoned in this game? Once. And that's after trying it a lot and waiting for hours for people to summon me. It's not worth doing. Not unless there's another one of those Reddit events going on where everyone's playing the game. Now, other stone. White Eye Stone. The white shadow of all eye stones. Controls the summoning of phantoms. Use this to send summoned phantoms back to their original world. Banished phantoms will not be returned to body form. You can also return to your own world from a world you were summoned into as a phantom, though you will not return to body form. So basically that's just saying, okay, I'm done playing with you. Use. A lot of people use this item to be dicks. Like, I don't know why they do this, because they'll summon you, right? And then they'll have you help them with something other than killing the boss, and then they'll send you back to your world. And there's no in-game chat in these games. None of them have in-game chat. You're expected to communicate entirely through body language. And I don't even remember if there's gestures in this game. I don't think there are. Yeah, so you can't really tell anybody what your intentions are unless you're playing the PS3 or Xbox 360 version of a game. Then you use the console's chat. But in the PC versions don't really have that. If you're playing on Steam, you can't chat with somebody unless they accept your friend request. And that's just a long, tedious process. So, chatting in this game, chatting in this series, is not really a thing. So, some certain forms of etiquette were written up. Like, whenever you're going to fight somebody in PvP, you should always bow, and stuff like that. If you see two other people fighting, you shouldn't interrupt them. Don't jump into their fight or anything. But not everybody follows this etiquette, because, like I mentioned before, this game encourages you to be a dick. It's part of the game. It wants you to be a dick, but it also wants you to be honorable. It wants you to be whichever one you want to be. Now, let's talk to you.
What is it? Dost thou seek soul power?
Hell yeah, I do. What happens if you pick no? Do you lose the ability to level up for the whole game? Yeah, I'm not gonna try it. Because you can't reload saves in this game, because it constantly auto-saves.
So be it. After all, thou requirest strength.
Indeed I do.
Go forth, touch the demon inside me.
Ooh.
Let these ownerless souls become thine own.
Okay, before I do that, I'm gonna talk to you some more, because I love your voice.
As for me, I am only here to tend to the flames. I keep the candles lit and serve the brave demon slayers who are trapped here.
Do the other people get this service of yours? Because I was the one that killed Phalanx. Unless they killed Phalanx in their own version of Boletaria. Which, it's complicated to explain this. Okay, seek soul power.
Of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended.
Yeah, she says that little poem every time you come here to level up. And this shows you exactly what will increase when you level something up, and by how much. So, it takes 758 souls for this first level up. I forgot just how expensive leveling is in this game. Well, the first thing I want to do is get Magic and Faith both up to reasonable numbers. Miracle capacity has increased, and by that it means I can equip one miracle. Hooray! I can also equip one spell. Okay, I still have enough for one more level up. I wonder if it will let me buy spells now. Let me skip out on level grinding, or leveling for now, and just look around.
Art thou done? May thine strength help the world be mended.
I wonder what kind of accent that is. Deposit? Yeah, I'm not going to be using this for a long time. And you can't store these stones, unfortunately. They're weightless though, so no biggie. Gotta save all my boss souls too. Okay, gonna have you repair my stuff. How about you? Do you see anything useful?
Back in the time that I lived below Boletaria Castle, King Aland left on some strange business, then returned with horrible demons in tow. Soon, the land was ravaged by demons and soul-starved madmen. My spine shudders just to think about it. If I did not have my miracle stone shard, a keepsake of my grandfather, I may not have survived.
So, King Aland is the one who brought all the demons here. Of course, I think we were told that already. Oh, hey, there's new people. Hello.
Oh, you must be another disciple of God. I too am on a quest to fight the demons in the name of the Lord. May I share God's power with you? Do not be bashful. We are both cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, okay, so people who use miracles and people who use magic don't get along in this world. Because people think that magic users, witches and stuff, are all demonic and devils, you know how they are. But later on, we will learn that miracles and spells come from the same power. They're pretty much the same things, just categorized differently. Okay, so what ooh, those are expensive. Hidden Soul, a new miracle found in Boletaria, hides the caster's soul, making them harder to be detected by black phantoms. So it's the same thing that the Thief's Ring does. The black phantoms that prowl the land of Boletaria are extremely dangerous and are the enemies of God and man alike. It's talking about invaders. There's only a handful of NPC black phantoms in the game, but it works on other players too. That doesn't work on enemies though, that's why you don't look more translucent, but to other players, the further away you are, the more invisible you are to them. Evacuate. Sends the user back to the Nexus. The Nexus binds powerful souls. This miracle harnesses that power. So it's a way for you to teleport back to the Nexus without walking all the way to an Archstone or dying. Pretty damn useful, but it's 20,000 souls. Holy crap. Also in the bottom right corner, there's that orb. That tells you how many slots the spell takes. All of these only take one slot, so you're good. It also tells you their MP cost. This costs 40 MP, but if it's the only spell you have equipped, it's not gonna matter to you as long as you have enough to cast it. Antidote. Cures the user of poisoning. Okay. And Heal. Recovers the user's HP, a simple expression of God's power. Holy warriors call upon this miracle during their lonely journeys. I'm probably gonna try and get my hands on this between episodes. Really want that.
A miracle is a heavenly act, but spells are the acts of demons, the work of soul arts. They have similar effects, and yet one is clearly evil, and the other is clearly good.
Clearly.
Magicians, in the end, are mere servants of the demons.
Yeah, so this goes back to the argument I was making before in the Final Fantasy games. If God used magic, would magic be bad? That's the question.
I see. You wish to train yourself in stoicism. Very well. I pray we meet again.
Yeah, so every merchant has something that they say if you give them souls and something that they say if you don't give them any souls. Most merchants are kind of dicks about it when you talk to them and don't buy anything, but some of them are nice. Like the Dregling merchant in Boletaria, he's always nice. He's actually a really good guy.
I have sinned. I swore allegiance to Saint Urbain, but was of no use to him. And now I have run away and abandoned his honorableness.
Which means we're probably going to have to find and rescue him at some point.
O Lord, punish me, for I have not the strength to punish myself.
Wow. You're a miserable little piece of shit, aren't you?
O honorable one, I hesitate to imagine your present state. Deep within the darkness, where no light shall ever shine, will you continue to pray even in such misery.
Laying it on a bit thick, aren't you? He's not actually in that much danger. Okay, so if you guys appeared on this side, then the spellcasters should have appeared over on this side. Ah, yep, here's one.
Are you here to face the demons? If so, please free Sage Frake the Visionary from the Dungeon of Latria. I will help you however I can teach you elementary spells. Sage Frake is a gleaming hope for humankind, but I have not the power to save him alone.
Wow. I don't think I have ever heard voice acting that could be described as literally wooden. Unless it's just supposed to be your personality. You're a very blunt and to-the-point kind of guy, aren't you?
Frake is a great sage who systemized the magic of the soul arts to make it possible for human imitation. By observing the state of Boletaria and the demons within it, he's likely to pave the way for greater things. All the more reason that I must meet Frake as soon as possible.
So you've never met him, but you know where he's imprisoned. Let's see, what kind of spells do you teach? Soul Arrow, which is pretty cheap. I could buy that right now if I wanted to. Standard spell, fires a soul arrow. The magical properties of soul arrows makes them effective against gold armor. Why specifically gold armor? Hard scales and other materials which are difficult to penetrate with physical attacks. Flame toss, shoots a stream of fire. Explodes upon impact, causing fire damage to its target. Usually the first spell learned by town magicians. Yeah, so if you started as the magician class, you would start with this spell, and also Water Veil, and you could use this against the Phalanx boss if you wanted to. Enchant Weapon, high level spell, strengthens the right hand weapon. Used with Catalyst equipped in the left hand. Enchanted weapons have magical properties, making them effective against gold armor and hard scales that resist physical attacks. Okay, so basically it makes your weapon do magic damage. Protection, slightly reduces damage taken. This spell is only effective against protecting its user from physical attacks, so it won't protect you against fire or magic. Cloak, hides one's presence, making it difficult to be detected by enemies. See? It does pretty much the same exact thing as the Miracle. That does the same thing. So, that goes more into what I was saying before about how they're basically the same shit. There's even a sorcery or a spell somewhere down the line that heals you. So you don't even need miracles for healing. This spell can be useful when sneaking up behind an enemy or when making a quiet escape. And Water Veil. Covers the user in a sheet of water, slightly reducing fire damage. Fire is a common method of attack used in both natural and magical forms. This spell should prove handy quite often. Indeed it should. In fact, if I wanted to go back and try fighting that dragon, I might consider bringing it along. But I can only cast it 3 times, and I don't remember how long it lasts. But, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I have so many spells to buy. I mean, I suppose I could buy Soul Arrow, but I don't have a Catalyst. Oh, I missed this one. Demon's Prank. Generates a loud sound in a far-off place. It has little direct effects, so the caster must think creatively to make effective use of it. So, it's just a spell that you use to distract enemies, like throwing a rock. Throwing a rock should be just as good. I don't know. But you can't do that in this game.
I see. Suit yourself. Just ensure that you rescue Sage Frake as quickly as possible.
Okay, it doesn't look like there's anyone else over here. Who do I buy catalysts and talismans from? Baldwin, you don't have any, do you? No, you've got the same crap as always. Oh well, let's just spend my souls on one last level up. Magic defense would be nice. Okay, I have a lot of farming to do tonight. Yep, but that's it. We've beat the first boss. We can finally level up and buy spells. Not that they do us any good, since they're not giving us the items we need to cast them. And now all of the other worlds have been unlocked. I hate to say it, but Boletaria, all of its levels actually. Boletaria, I believe, has 4 levels? I think it has 4 levels. It might be 5, I forget. I think it's just 4 though. And all the other worlds have 3 levels. And Boletaria's are the easiest in the whole game. The rest of these places are all bullshit. And we'll have to deal with them. You can't beat the game until you've beaten every other boss. The only optional boss in this entire game is the Vanguard. There'd be more optional bosses in later games, but in this one, it's just that one. Yep, so, thank you all so very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I really appreciate it. If you want to support me on Patreon, there'll be an end card at the end of the video, and a link in the description below, alongside links to my social media. So, I'll see you all in the next video. Okay, I am recording extra late today. All day long, I have been waiting to record until my neighborhood shut the fuck up. I live in what's called a quiet neighborhood. That means it's full of middle-class old people who think that every day is a good day to mow the lawn.